Hey, what up, guys? Alright, this is your boy Finnery Moon. Okay, in this video, we're just gonna be talking about Stanley Infinity Saga. Because that's when the Marvel was Marvel, you know what I'm saying? I just want to talk about those days, you know what I'm saying? How we felt about it, how wonderful it was. That was a wonderful time period right there. You know what I'm saying? How we all us fans, how we would flock to the movies. We would buy the specialty bucket, popcorn bucket, along with the specialty cup. You know what I'm saying? We were like getting our full dressing gear to go to these movies and stuff like that. To me, it was just to us, it was just wonderful. You know what I'm saying? It's like, like a lot of us still had jobs, before a lot of us started YouTube business and popped off. Before then, a lot of us still have jobs. We would go to the movie. I mean, we go to our job, and then we have some people be talking to us that not even into comics at all, not even into it, right? But the movie is so popular because us fans of the comics keep raving about it. We keep talking about it. We keep like bombarding like just all over the internet. Even when we go to work, we be like, "Hey man, did you saw that on?" For example, what movie? Did you saw that Iron Man just come out? Yeah, that looks slick. That the Stanley Infinity Saga was so dope, right? They had some not top of the line movies, but none of their movies were not a miss. You know what I'm saying? Everybody would still watch the movies that they really didn't like in the MCU. We don't really just, and the fans in there, we really don't really talk about those movies. But when we do bring them up, we tell you that the points that we didn't like about the movie, but we would sit there and watch it and enjoy it. Because that's when they actually came, like really, I mean, because it's going to be hit and miss every once in a while. You're going to get everything exactly right. We understood that. But the effort you put in there to try to get it right, that's what all that matters. You know what I'm saying? Because with the comic book fans, we understand that everything is not going to be as the original. In order for that to happen, you got to have the original people doing it. So every time you see things that is done not as the original, we see it as a retcon. Like the MCU is not, we not holding that as like law. Like the stuff that they doing in the MCU, like with the abilities and the powers and stuff, that's not law to us because that's not how they was created. We just don't like the fact that you butchering them to the point that it's not even the character's not even recognizable to the comic fan. That's when we have a problem with it. And when in a Stanley Infinity Saga, they didn't get it all right, but you still can relate to the character. When you looked at Thor, right? You saw him as Thor. You understand what was happening. When you saw Doctor Strange, you understand what was happening. When you saw Black Panther, Captain Marvel win the Stanley Infinity Saga, you understand what the characters was about. We grew to love each and every last one of these characters. Some of the GOAT movies in Stanley Infinity Saga was Captain Marvel, Black Panther, the Doctor Strange. The Doctor Strange 2 was good too, but the first one, to me, that was the GOAT of the Doctor Strange because I love the way he was going with the story with that Doctor Strange. You know what I'm saying? Because this is more of like a serious side. It's because a lot of things that they addressed in the first movie that I wanted to address more of. Now it's like I don't know what's happening because what Baron Mordo. You remember at the end of the Doctor Strange movie how he went and took Painboard like magic away from him. He's going around going after all the wizards and stuff like that. Too many sorcerers in the world. He said, I wanted to continue with that storyline with that and see what Doctor Strange had to do, with Baron Mordo because he knew pretty much the exact same thing as Doctor Strange. He trained Doctor Strange. He was like the Ancient One's right hand, you know what I'm saying? Besides Wong. You know what I'm saying? So I really wanted to see more of that story. I love where he was going with that part with the Doctor Strange. You see what I'm saying? And also, I love the point what was actually going with Captain Marvel too. You know what I'm saying? Because I love to see it like the female side of our military doing the thing. I love to see the woman power. I love it. You know what I'm saying? I love to see the story continue from that story. You know, but it, like when she went in outer space and everything like that, you know what I'm saying? I loved her for her to actually go in outer space, but I kind of still loved her for her to actually kind of like keep in contact with Monica Rambeau and Maria Rambeau. You know what I'm saying? She could have actually came back and gave them some kind of device, or she could have came back because she needed Maria Rambeau to actually help her do something because she only one can trust her. You know, I wanted some more of that type of story, you know what I'm saying, and the Black Panther. So we all know what we wanted from Black Panther after the first one. I wanted more Wakanda. I wanted to focus on that area. I wasn't done feeling that. I wanted more of their culture, you know what I'm saying. I didn't want it to be split up, you know. But, you know, I understand because of the snap, you know, and that's phase after the snap supposed to go into that, but I don't know what it went into after that. But I'm just focused on what's happening with Stan Lee's Infinity Saga. So that was. I'm not gonna talk too much. I don't want to talk you guys head off. You know what I'm saying? You know, in the Captain America, I really love what he did with the Captain Americas. But only thing I kind of wish that we could have got more of. I kind of wish that we could have got more of Captain America in his time period. You know, more of him. Like we could have got a TV series of him doing these different missions in the time period. In his time period, we're getting to see all these different World War II heroes back in those days. You know, I would love to see more of that. I love to see more of his relationship with him and Peggy Carter. They could have made a series, Steve and Peggy, and they could have focused on the time when he went back. You know what I'm saying? That would have been awesome. You know, I wanted to see more of a lot of great things, actually. I know there's so much stuff in my head I want to say, so I'm kind of like it's up in like what, you know what I'm saying? So I ain't gonna. I'll probably continue this video another time. I don't want to talk too much, and the video be like way long. But if y'all want me to say, you know, talk more about this, let me know in the comments down below. But just want you guys to know that I love the Infinity Saga, Stanley Infinity Saga. I love when we had to actually be able to go out to the movies and talk amongst each other after the movie was over. Get on the phone, talk to our friends. We discover new friends because of the hype of the movies and stuff that you were able to help. Because I mean, I gained many friends by helping them understand what is happening in the MCU films. And they got into comics and they started reading comics and stuff. That happened with a lot of people. A lot of people met they love one out of that one. You see what I'm saying? It became great best friends. You know, plenty of things. That's why we love comics. That's why we take the time to read, discuss comics, and that's why we submerge ourselves in the comic world, because it's wonderful, because it brings all life. Don't matter what you are. You come into the comic, you come in to discuss comic, we welcome you, we love you. There's no hatred there, you know what I'm saying? That's why I love the world of comics. You know what I'm saying? And that's why we created this channel, UnitedComicsUniverse, where we can bring everyone together. You know, so we can talk about the wonderful things of comics. You know, we can talk about Thor beating Loki, you know what I'm saying? Talk about Blue Marvel, you know, one of the most powerful characters in Marvel. You know what I'm saying? Why we haven't seen him on big screen yet? You know what I'm saying? That's crazy. You know what I'm saying? They finally come out with Sentry. What they gonna do with Sentry now? You know what I'm saying? But just, you know, what you guys think? Just let me know. Anything y'all want me to talk about with comics or how I feel about it, just let me know down below. Love you guys. Remember, like, comment, share, and subscribe. We are comics.